People of the internet, my name is Odoyo and this is Political Headache in collaboration with Red Ring Media. Today we are talking about the county of Homa Bay. We have seen so much that is going on. We have a very big office that has been built by the county government. I don't know about the hospital, if we have a hospital as big as that. We have also seen some events taking place by the shores of Lake Victoria. But we have never had a state of the county by the governor of Homa Bay. And today I want to talk with Odoyo Owidi, a man who comes from Homa Bay County, a man who is very passionate about the development of Homa Bay County. And, just talk about why he thinks that we need state address for the government of Homa Bay. But before you answer that question, I want to ask you about Homa Bay.
Yes.
When Raila Odinga and co came up with the devolution,
Yes.
I have a feeling that the people of Homa Bay sat somewhere and said, okay, now that devolution is coming, we are going to benefit in several ways. Number one, number two, number three, number four. What was the understanding of how you saw Homa Bay before devolution?
We must appreciate the fact that when devolution finally arrived, carried by the politicians, yet it was crafted by the technocrats. The very politicians who are carrying it around the country, selling it to the electorate so that they vote for it, did not even know clearly what it carried. I remember talking to the late Otieno Kajwang about being the governor. He told me he did not want to be a mayor living in Homa Bay. And I got the same answer from a senior politician from Migori County. Because what the technocrats had put into the law was not very well known in minute detail by the politicians. Yet they knew what was in it, but not the minute details. But the reason why a majority of the people voted for the new constitution was a very simple block understanding of what it was. They understood it as a piece of the national government being brought to the counties, where the county were as they had been delimited by that very new constitution. So, for example, Homa Bay, they had seen a miniature government. They had also seen that those things which were being done by the national government at the national level are now going to be done at the county level, though in a little bit smaller way, but of course serving a smaller population. That is what they saw. So they also saw that if at the national government we did not get enough resources in Homa Bay, now we are going to get just enough for us, as the law sets out that Homa Bay will get this much. How it was going to be used, that is what now they were waiting for. They were waiting to see now roads being built, water being supplied, and many other things. And they had believed these things were not happening before, because at the national government, we as the people of Homa Bay and many other counties down there were being marginalized. But now they are saying we are going to elect a governor of our own. But one thing people don't realize that when you are at the world level, there can be intercontinental marginalization. When you come to continents, there are inter-country marginalization. The powerful countries may marginalize the weaker ones. Nationally, there is also that regional. Regionally, there is further regional. And so it can continue until in your own home, the family of maybe the first wife and the family of the second wife are at war in the distribution of resources. So this thing does not end with Africans. And I think if we were to bring complaints at the county level, one part of the county, another, corruption at the county level, depriving the people of their resources, it's still there. Actually, I normally tell people, Jagero, that devolution as we got it in county level was wrong, because we just devolved a piece of the national government. So if the national government was corrupt, a piece of that corruption is now at the county. If the national government was biased against certain region, that bias is now here. If there was opulence by those in government at the national level, that opulence is now here in the county. So every bad manners in the national government was devolved here. Every good manners that was there was probably also devolved here. But something also had happened at the county level. County level lack oversight, unlike the national government, where people from different regions gang up to oversight the president. But you find in county level, especially when you come to Homa Bay, you find all the MCAs who are supposed to oversight the governor are people who are elected by the help of that very governor. And there used to be threats that, oh, if you don't toe the line, we will ensure you are not elected next time, either by invoking party powers or resources. We can deny you, or simply we are more powerful than you. So actually, oversight in the county governments is very weak. And that will bring me the question you attempted to ask me and withdrew a bit.
Which one? Which one did I ask?
The one of the address to state of the county.
Yes. And that is what, because something interesting that you've said that I want to, latch on and ask is that you're saying that devolution was not done correctly. Is that what you said? Or I had you in...
Okay, let's put it this way. The way the devolution was done, it turned out to just be a piece of the national government brought down. I would have preferred that we would have devolved the resources rather than devolving government.
Okay, so then we will not have a governor.
We will not have a governor. We would not even have the CECs. We would have a council like the ones we used to have during the council days. So what comes down is the money. And the council would sit down without executive powers to say, this money is going here, this amount is going to do this project, this amount is going to do that project. Like it happens even in CDF. In CDF, there was no government devolved, only resources was devolved. And then people are employed, there's a manager, and there's a committee formed.
Okay. And then so there will be nobody drawing a salary, in a sense.
There would be nobody drawing a salary except that council could be drawing allowances as and when they sit.
Yes.
Just like the old council.
But then the question then would be, so where does the money go? Because right now, okay, the money at the moment remains with the government. And then the county government can withdraw it in forms of salaries and can withdraw it in forms of contracts. So then what would happen here? Who would be giving the contracts out?
It is an allocation similar to the CDF one. The county government say is allocated 10.5 billion. This money is purely for development because we don't have a government devolved down. So we can say by law that money we can take 5% or up to 10% for managing it.
Yes.
Then this money is used purely for development. So if you get 10.5 billion, you know you have up to 9 billion purely for development. Not for paying some ghost workers, not for paying some fictitious fuels, not for paying some benchmarking in Rwanda. No, purely for development. And once it's come, you have your development agenda. And then you have the strategic plan. And then we say the first year of the 5-year period, we are going to build 1, 2, 3, 4. And you know for sure that 10.5 billion is going to come. And you know for sure it's going to be used to build this. That would have created much more development. That is why when you drive around the countryside, you see more projects done by CDF than done by the county governments. Because that CDF money is net for development.
It's net for development.
It's net for development. But the money that is coming to the county, you find some even go for development with 5%. For example, in Homa Bay, 2024-2025, There is no one single project that was implemented. And I can challenge anyone in Homa Bay to tell me. No one. It
Against what amount of allocation?
about against a total revenue of 12 billion.
So,
That is on-source revenue and allocation from the treasury.
and they did not build a clinic.
Nothing was built with that
They
money.
did not
Nothing.
build that road.
Nothing. Even if they show you their budget and what they did, you'll not find it. They were
Really?
trying to do things last minute, which has crossed over in here so that it is pushed onto pending bills. You know, the trick which counties also used to keep the money to themselves is to give people contracts when the financial year is about to end. Then when the years end, it goes like a pending bill. So the new money comes and is budgeted differently. You who was not paid with the previous budget, your money is now pending bill and you can keep on running around looking for it and you never get it.
Yeah. So that is very interesting. But then I want to background on Homa Bay a little bit. This is the third government, right?
The second.
The
first governor of Homa Bay was Cyprian Owidi.
Yes.
He did 2 terms. Okay,
Yes.
let's say two governments.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
that's what
now
I'm
I
saying.
get what your picture.
Yes.
Instead of saying the third government, I was thinking of the third governor.
Yes.
So he did 2 governments, then this is the third one by Gladys Wanga.
So the Luo, they say this is a men. So you compare the fat of ram. So let's go to the governor, to the first government.
Yes.
Yeah. How did that work? Did it work for the people of Homa Bay or did it not? And then you can go ahead and explain to me the second.
Exactly. Let me warn you about something about government. Every government will always have people complaining. But it depends on to what extent. Because when you look at Cyprian Owidi, he's the one who had to go there and set up an office. Set up now the hospitals the devolution way. Set up every infrastructure that would be required to run the devolution. He's the one who would go renovate buildings and put furniture. Thereafter, he starts his journey to development. And give it to him. We can count quite a number of things, though with no experience and no one to copy from, we would find problems. But it is Cyprian Owidi who built the current stadium you are seeing in Homa Bay. Cyprian Owidi is the first governor in Nyanza to ever build a tarmac road of over 30 kilometers.
Is that so?
Yes, the Kadongo Gendia tarmac road. Albeit people said it wasn't looking so good. Cyprian Owidi built something called Kigoto flour mills, which later came and collapsed in the hands of the current governor. Cyprian Owidi had started building what is called the animal feeds factory. Cyprian Owidi did street lamps in the whole of Homa Bay. Cyprian Otieno Owidi. So those are now the key projects, the major projects. Now, there are also small ones that a county government must do, like build. You've seen several dispensaries and low-level hospitals that I've been showing you are now in the bush. Those ones were all built by Cyprian Owidi. There's none there that is new. They are all those old ones that are over 3 years old. So that is the work of Governor Cyprian Otieno Owidi. But one thing that was good with Owidi did not prioritize luxury or opulence for the governor. Owidi used one vehicle in 10 years, a Prado J150. 10 years. The current governor is on her third vehicle, an Isuzu.
In one term.
In one term. So, and Owidi never used to have a motorcade. Owidi had a very modest office, an office that immediately the new governor took over. She demolished and put up a new one that was now better. And if you look at the interior of that office that Governor Gladys did, it is much better than many other offices that you can think about. Then, exactly 1 year later, she started another process of building another bigger office that is costing 800 $820 million. That is the largest project that she has done. And I can tell you for free, there will be never a bigger project than that she will ever do in all the time. The second largest, which is now a public interest project, is the Accident and Emergency Center. That would have been the Homa Bay Referral Hospital. I am saying it would have been because as we are seated here, on the 9th of September, the contractor withdrew equipment from that construction site and went. And
what was the reason?
And interesting, they are not being paid. And do you know the joke? That hospital is only 200 million. And it was meant to take 18 months. That means as we speak here, we would have been using that hospital.
What was it necessary for her to build the 820 million office? Because he had one. So what is this other one? Because I saw President Ruto opening it the other day. So the other old one is what are they doing?
The other old one was also opened by Raila Odinga and Ida Odinga. So I don't know if next year she'll build another office or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because she has prioritized her comfort, her luxury, and her opulence. And I even heard her saying that we still need to put up another function in Migori and Homa Bay for mourning Raila Odinga. She loves functions. She loves Nyasi. So that is the problem we have. It is very interesting that that 820 million office was completed in record 12 months, 1 year. Completed, and President William Ruto opened it.
The question I must now ask you is very simple. If somebody else was given 800 million, which is about $1 billion, knowing Homa Bay, what could it have done?
If it were me, let's say, let me not think for other people, let me think for myself.
Yes.
If I was given 820 million to spend, or if I chose to get it from whatever source, I would first put up a teaching and referral hospital, and that would cost me anything like about 300 million. And then we have about 8 sub-counties. I will put 2 together and put for them level 5, or expand the hospitals they already have to level 5. Why am I talking hospitals? The things that are devolved in this country, the people-centered one is health. After doing that, say for 100 million each, so that would be 4. 2 sub-counties will have one they can run to as emergency, instead of everybody wanting to run to Homa Bay town. Next is water, the other devolved function for the county governments. And water is very interesting because the national government has provided bulk water. The work of the county government is just to distribute that bulk water to the people. Homa Bay in particular has 12.7 million liters of water per day from Oyugis, which is called Atemo, and 5.7 million liters in Kokwanya, which is called Kidubei. Lying in tanks, note that that is produced per day. And that is all you need to distribute to Kidubei town, Oyugis town, some up to Rangwe and Ringa. And you are good to go with issues of water. And you see the advantage with water, why I would want to give the state of the county address. Because water is not given for free, just like health. And when you connect anybody to water, you will charge them connection fee. We are talking of a commodity that is already in store. What the county needs to do is now put infrastructure to sell it. Sell the water that the national government, when Odoyo Owidi was chairman, was launched by President William Ruto. All you need to do is distribute it to the people. And you don't even distribute it for free. You do your calculation and you say, somebody who is being connected 1 kilometer away, you pay 15,000. Half a kilometer away, you pay 10,000. And they will pay for the connection. And after you connect them, you charge them for using the water.
Permanent.
Even that the governor cannot do. How do you help these people?
So how are they drinking water right now?
Water is always a problem in the county of Homa Bay. People are ever fighting about water here, water not there. It's disconnected, connected, it's dry. And another advantage of water in Homa Bay, those two water projects I have counted for you, there is no electricity bills with them because they flow from the river to the treatment plant by gravity. Then they flow from the treatment plant to the storage tank again by gravity, because the first one is in a place called Atemo. Atemo is high altitude to Wire Hill. So it flows to Wire storage tank by gravity. And from the river to the treatment plant also by gravity. The only time you need electricity is when you want to clean the system, flush it. There's an elevated tank that when it is opened, its water flushes the treatment plant to be clean. That is the only place you pump water to once in a while. So Homa Bay has water that is free, only distribution, not even distribution, selling it to the people and getting revenue. That is how we feel.
And they're not doing it.
They are not doing it.
All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. You know, everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world, and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor, and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know that you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is odworjigero.co.ke. And now, back to programming.
It's an operation, however minor. I don't know what you do with an hospital which is in blackout and the patient arrives at night. Kama tutadunga mtu sindano na mulika mwizi. That is the problem we have.
So this is the current governor's. This is the third year. We're going into the third year. And there is nothing that has been done. So we have. You said that the 2025, 2024, 2025 was 9 billion.
It was over 9 billion.
Over 9 billion. But let's track back a little bit because she started in 2022, correct?
2022 August.
2022 August. And how much was that?
2022, she comes 2 months after the budget because the budget begins in June.
Yes.
And that you can be sure the old governor has not spent much.
He has barely spent.
So she walks in and gets this money and starts doing her office. And starts doing
without having budgeted for it.
Of course.
She has not budgeted for it.
Of course, what do people do? You may find an old budget. Then you start your supplementary budget.
A supplementary budget of 1 billion.
My brother, you need to know, even this 820 million office that has been built is not in the strategic plan of the county. It's not in the strategic plan.
So then, let's talk about then the strategic plan of the county. Because if we are going to judge you in a court of law or in a public arena, let's say Rome, you're going to, before you are stoned to death, we look at the strategic. What is the strategy of Homa Bay County then? All along.
The strategy, I think there's the strategy of Homa Bay and the strategy of the governor. The governor's strategy, I think, from where we sit, is to make as much money as possible and to climb the political ladder, probably to be regional kingpin and probably the president. I can tell you for free, the governor has no interest of the people of Homa Bay at heart. Because you have had her even in public trying to say that she lobbied for the work that has been done in Homa Bay by the national government. Because initially, she used to tell the people that, look, I have done the fish market, I have done the pier, I have done the People's Park, I have done the amphitheater, I have done the State Lodge, I have done this roads plan. But when we told that those things have been done by the national government, she goes telling the people, but did you see these things before I became the governor? The national government has always been there. What she's forgetting, that when she was not governor, Ruto also wasn't the president, the only man willing to take development to Luland. And you cannot tell us that you brought this thing. When Ruto went to Kitui the other time, a stadium was built from scratch. An airport was also built in Kitui. Was she the governor in Kitui? So this is just President William Ruto's nature of taking national government development to the people wherever they are. And each time there is a function or a holiday being held in your county, the infrastructure around is sorted. Not whether the governor wants it or not. The infrastructure is built.
You know the things that you're saying. I don't know if you're listening to yourself.
I'm listening.
Because if you are saying that a county government has been empowered to the tune of almost 10 billion.
Yes.
Okay? And this is a county with ministers, with strategic planners. This is a county with advisors. And you are saying that for the 10 billion, they are only taking credit for what has been built by President Ruto.
Yes.
So the question I am asking you then is, where is the 10 billion?
Let me tell you how they use the 10 billion.
Okay.
When they do when they do the budgeting, they ensure that majority of that money is in the recurrent expenditure. Because recurrent expenditure is easier to steal from.
What is a recurrent expenditure for people?
Recurrent expenditure is that money you spend to run the county, and it is spent repeatedly, like salaries.
That is institutional support, in other words.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, for example, things that will fall, the salaries, the allowances, the fuels to run vehicles, all those fall under recurrent expenditure. The public participations, the stakeholder engagement, such things, the functions that you see that are the order of the day in Homa Bay. You see,
all that is 100% non-development.
Yes. So then you find they have put maybe 20% for development. Now, this development also, They are put 20%.
20% of the entire budget.
Entire 10, let's say it is 10 billion. It's normally more. Let's say 10 billion. So 2 billion is for development. If you are ever given tender in Homa Bay to do development, and you are not a relative of the governor, and you are not her friend, you will not be paid. But the project you will have constructed will be used to get votes. Tell the people, I have done for you this. You have done for us this, but the person who did it, you have not paid. And the ones that they ever pay are those ones that through third parties go back to them. So what I am trying to tell you, the development money is eaten 100%. Because either through friends and relatives, it goes back. Or you get to do the work, but you are not paid. So it's still not done anything for the people. So that's how they do it. And there are even those projects that tenders are awarded, but they never get done, especially some of these Maram roads. Because when the auditors will come 2 years later, you can't tell whether it was done or not.
And that is interesting, because I remember there is a story that was being told in Kisumu County where a man died of a heart attack here in Nairobi because they were not able to pay him for the things that he had done for the county government. The issue of how does it usually work? Because I am wondering, if you're a business person, you sort of have an idea that, because I don't know. This is why I'm asking. If I am into production and branding consultancy, if somebody tells me that, Jagero, I want you to do ABCD, okay, what will happen is that I will give you a quote. After giving you a quote, you might accept the quote or decide to say, okay, this is too much, this is our budget. Let's say they say the budget is, let's say, 300,000. Then I tell them that I will want to accept 40% down payment. At the county level, do you know whether this happens? Are people given some little money to start the project?
There are big projects that contractors are given mobilization fee.
Which is what? What is a mobilization
Sometimes
fee?
you can be given 10%, 5%, but generally it's 10% to mobilize your equipment to come on site and start doing the work. But after you start the work, the whole thing may go off. Or in a Petra Kidogo, when you are supposed to have been given the next one after raising a certificate. Then you wait, you say, oh, we will do it next month, next week, next month. Until now, you will also run out of money to continue the working. Then you walk out on the site. But also something very interesting about even the contractors. If you take a big project like the Accident and Emergency Center that is being built in Homa Bay, and you give it to a contractor that has never even built a single-story building.
A kiosk.
Because when I look at the structure that is coming up in Homa Bay as the emergency accident and emergency center, the workmanship is very, very poor. It is as poor as the workmanship I saw at the Kisumu International Conference Center. Very poor workmanship. There is nothing fine. See, look at the way the Chinese are doing the work here. You look at a column, it is fine.
It stands.
It stands. But those people you see, even some of the wires being used inside those columns are visible.
After completion.
They are visible, so they will have to be filled by some...
Yeah, you can see them.
Yeah.
So the other question I wanted to ask you, there are so many people who we know have really profited from the county government in terms of the contract. So these are people that are actually friends, or they're pseudo companies?
Not just friends, very close friends. If you are not a friend, a close friend, or a relative, you will still be owed money 10 years later, 5 years later without fear. And I think this country needs to put its foot down and say our citizens are our source of revenue. And we must protect them from rogue county governments and ensure that when money is being given to county governments, they must first be used to clear the pending bills before new projects begin. Because I do not understand, Jagero, from the PFM Act that I know, that I worked with. You cannot do something out of the budget. And the budget is within the expected revenue which is always received by the county governments because it comes from the national government. The national government will give a lot of. How do we then generate this so-called pending bills? How do they come about? I remember there was a time I had a governor saying on TV that, we have pending bills because some of these people, some of us have not been given our allocations. Then one day, the Minister of Finance, Mbadi, said, now we are clear with all counties. They have all received their dues, but the pending bills were still there.
The question I want to ask you, therefore, is this. It seems to me that each and every time that we talk about this actually unfortunate event of not paying citizens of Kenya by the county government, the national government seems to have their hands on their back tied like this. And I'm wondering, is it a legal issue? Why is it that the county government has had it very difficult to get into this issue and fix it?
There was a time when Uhuru was president, when one day he ordered that all the pending bills must be paid by June 1st. I heard him say something, but nothing happened. The following year, he did the same thing. But I normally say, if you are the president, do not give an order that you cannot enforce. So that one, Uhuru did something very bad, because when the president ordered, we people who are being owed money by county governments had hoped that we would finally be paid. And you see, Jagero, governments can never do business. Business enterprises can never be run by government. And it is from the business enterprises that money comes from. The money that is used to develop this country. So, why do we allow governments to hold monies belonging to private businessmen, the real and true taxpayers?
What do you mean
if today
hold?
We really hold,
What do you mean
in
hold?
form of pending bills?
Yes.
Because these counties, they gave contracts and supplies to private businesses, but didn't pay them thereafter.
The question also I don't understand, Mr. Owidi, is, so for example, they say that, okay, we are going to be building this, the emergency center in Homa Bay for, let's say, 200 million, okay? And eventually they don't pay it. So it is 200 million. Where has it gone?
Because they divert money.
Oh, I see.
After they have diverted it and they are lucky, nobody ever follows them that this money you have diverted, where is it? In fact, the people who needs to be in jail are county governors. They are 47 miniature kings, but they need to be in jail. They need to. Because number one, how do you generate pending bills? From the PFM Act, if you end up with pending bills, you need to go to jail.
Why are they not going to jail?
Because nobody follows it up, because the county governors are larger than life. Explain to me, a governor goes before the Senate. While at the Senate, she's challenged that you have 1,327 ghost workers, and she does not deny. But you do not see EACC going there the next day. You do not see DCI going there the next day. You do not see her being summoned by the MCAs to explain how that happens. So these are miniature gods. They are kings. Even the kings are questioned. You start a project clearly budgeted for, and budgeted for within 1 year, because within 2 years, for example, the accident and emergency center in Homa Bay was budgeted to take 18 months. That is 1.5 years. That means it was supposed to be fully paid from the budget of 2 financial years. The 2 financial years are over. The work is at 30%, and the contractor is out of sight. Where is that 200 million? Because when you budget, the money will come. And when the money comes, pay the contractor. After 18 months, you should be in a position to pay the contractor the full amount. 18 months has passed. The contractor has not been paid the full amount. The work has slowed down to 30%, and the contractor walks out, and the whole structure is remaining there to rot in the rain. That the time it is rotting in the rain, an 820 million office for the governor was completed with a record 12 months. It is 820. A 200 million work has stalled 2 years later. It means even the hospital could have been done within 1 year. But give it to them, maybe the money in one financial year would have not been enough. So it's spread to 2 years. Now we are going to the 3rd year, the work is not complete. The constructor is out of sight. And what is even worsening, that place where it is being built, another hospital was pulled down to give way for this one.
And now everything has stalled.
Everything has stalled.
So there is no hospital.
It's like you pull down your old house to build a new one, the new one has stalled.
Now you are sleeping under a tree.
Mm.
Can I ask you something also that perhaps the audience would want to understand?
Tell me.
How do they come up with the budgets? Who in the county government comes up with budgets?
Budgets happen like this. Each and every department do their budget. Then they are brought together and consolidated into one large budget. And that one large budget is then taken before the county assembly for approval. So this is a budget that has been approved by everyone. It has come from the executive and gone to the assembly to be approved. And the assembly should question the county government if it is not done. But it cannot happen in Homa Bay because Homa Bay, all the members of the assembly report to the governor instead of the governor reporting to them.
What do you mean they report to the governor to tell them or to tell the governor what?
To tell the governor we are loyal.
Really?
Yes. Actually, it is the leader of majority who is supposed to the head of the oversight committee in the county assembly of Homa Bay, who is the governor's apologist, who goes around telling people how the governor is working well and should not be touched. The moment you hear your own supervisor calling you with full salutation and full names, Her Excellency Governor Gladys Wanga, then you know he's loyal to the knee. And that loyalty is not loyalty, it is sycophants. Homa Bay County is the county when the assembly threatened to impeach their own majority leader. The governor came in and employed goons to ensure that those people who signed to impeach the majority leader don't even access the assembly. Homa Bay is a county where people, they even fake answered that this was discussed and approved in the assembly. Homa Bay, I think it is one county that should be dissolved and put under a management the way that Uhuru had put Nairobi at one point in time.
Are you saying that we need an RMS
Yes.
in Homa Bay?
We need something as a remedy. Do you know how painful is it for me to sit next to my peers from other counties and they hear my governor saying that her achievement in Homa Bay is bringing Madaraka Day to Homa Bay? Is she the president who brought Madaraka Day to Homa Bay? And even if it was brought to Homa Bay, what development is it? Bringing it there. A governor is given resources to govern the county. A governor is not entertainment officer for the people that I brought for you Madaraka Day entertainment. Do you know how it feels when you're sitting next to your peers from other counties and then they tell you, you hear your governor telling the people, you know, these things, I want the one who went and lobbied for them to come and happen. But the one she's saying she lobbied for, their construction, let alone their planning, began while the governor and all ODM leaders in Homa Bay were still wearing sufurias on their heads singing Ruto must go.
They had started.
Yes. And you see, explain to me, why would the governor take credit for things that are not even devolved? You know, if it was something that devolved, that you are the one who is supposed to do, then you can go and lobby that, oh, Your Excellency, we need water. Your Excellency, we need a hospital. But things which are devolved like state lodge, and it's not devolved like state lodge, why do you even get happy that it's been done there and it is not under you? Go and lobby for things under you like water, like healthcare, like agricultural inputs. Those are the things you need to lobby for. But when the government has done what it is supposed to do in every county, and you know what people don't realize, that every inch of the soil in Kenya falls inside a county. So whatever the national government does in the Republic of Kenya will fall in one county or the other, whether there is a governor there or not.
If it's a state lodge, it's going to be
For
in a
example,
county.
when the Kisumu-Isebania Road was being done, it crossed so many counties: Kisumu, Homa Bay, Kisii, a bit of Nyamira, Migori, until it reached the border. Whatever the president will ever do in this country will fall in one county or the other. So if the president was doing affordable housing throughout the country and one fell in Homa Bay, the Homa Bay governor can't take credit because Homa Bay is part of Kenya and Ruto is working for Kenyans. If the pier fell in Homa Bay, it is because Homa Bay is in Kenya and it is at the shore of Lake Victoria, and that is a town which should host a pier. If the fish market fell in Homa Bay, it is because Homa Bay is in Kenya and Homa Bay is at the lakeshore where fish is landing, and President Ruto, in his wisdom, saw that Homa Bay deserves that. It would have happened there irrespective of who was the governor in Homa Bay, because Ruto has to work for Kenyans. He's not like the governors. He's working.
One of the things, Bwana Odoyo Owidi, that keeps, bothering me is that sometimes we say all these things. For example, you have given a very morbid picture of what is going on at the county level in Homa Bay. But sometimes, as people, do you think the people of Homa Bay are seeing this? Do you think the people of Homa Bay have an understanding that they were given 10 billion and none of it went into development? Do they know?
Well, forget about the people. In the Homa Bay County Assembly itself, the oversight of the government, the approvers of the budget, the approvers of the strategic plan, have people who cannot distinguish between a billion and a million. They have no clear understanding of what 10 million can do versus what 100 million can do. That picture is not with them. My brother. And I have tried to teach my people, if you want to know the value of a certain amount of money, look at what you contributed for your church or your local school and see what it built. Then you know what the budget can do. For example, if you contributed 5 million to build a church, and then you see the size of that church, and your county has 5 billion development budget, the development that money is going to do is equivalent to 1,000 of such churches you built with 5 million. That is how they need to look at it. But you see, when you hear an MC is clapping that out of the development budget of 3.5 billion, a 500,000 ECD classroom was built, and she's clapping. Do you know how many times that 500,000 ECD classroom goes into 5 billion? Do you know? It goes there 10,000 times. And by the way, building a single classroom should not cost more than 250,000. Those ECD ones, they are very cheap to build. But now, because it's done through a contract, Magoha had fixed it at 700,000. If you don't want to, forget about it. That was a working man If you came from Homa Bay, you would have voted for him to be the governor. Because there's certain things people refuse. You know very well that if I was the one, because I have tried to think 10 times why that county headquarters in Homa Bay should cost 820 million. I have never seen. I have never seen. I have never understood why. Yet, a hospital, which is not far off from the size of that, is costing 200 million.
Mm. In finishing, what do you suggest is the way forward for Homa Bay County and other counties?
I had said we need to give the people of Homa Bay a clear picture of what is happening and what ought to have happened. And that should come through an annual State of the County address by the governor. But because the governor has refused to do it, because if she does it, she's doomed. If she doesn't do it, she's also doomed. Because she will have to tell the people the truth. This is the money. This is what we have done with it. But because this is the money and there is nothing that has been done with it, she cannot dare read the State of the County address. But there is no problem. I will read it for them. I will tell them how much they get, what they get should do, and what has been done, and what ought to have been done. That I will tell them. And I will tell them where the money is going.
When are you telling them?
I had already planned to do the State of the County address live. Cameras were set, everything was set. Then that early morning, when I was already dressed up, I get the bad news that Raila Amolo Odinga had passed on. And I think, as humane as I am, out of courtesy and respect for Raila Amolo Odinga, I postponed the State of the Homa Bay County address. And we are going to invite the media again, and we are going to have State of the County address for the county of Homa Bay. That is my county. And people always ask me, oh, Owidi, you have been chairman of this, what have you done? Homa Bay County, before I left office, I gave them 4 motor vehicles new. 4 vehicles, gari ine. And do you know the joke? 2 CEC members in Homa Bay are using those very vehicles. And when I was handing over those vehicles, I told the delegation from Homa Bay that these vehicles we are giving you are not for the county government of Homa Bay. We are giving them to Homawasco, Homa Bay Water and Sanitation Company. But now I hear they are the vehicles being used by the CEC members and the chief officers. And they were meant for logistics for the people of Homa Bay to get water. Nevertheless, that's where we find ourselves in.
Thank you very much, Mr. Owidi. It was always nice having with you, the man with the knowledge, the man with the experience, the man with the know-how. One of these days, we will consider having you as the governor of Homa Bay. See what you can do.
And I will do it.
Okay. Thank you very much, people of the internet. This was Political Headache in collaboration with Red Ring Media. Please follow Red Ring Media on YouTube and hit on that notification bell so that you can always know when we are collaborating with them or when they are doing their own. Political Headache is also on YouTube. Please follow it, hit on that notification bell. We want to talk about politics and politics of development. We also have a town hall where Owidi has graced each and every time we have had it. We just had an explosive one in Mombasa. He was there. We are going to Nakuru. Not sure whether he's going to be there. Then from there, we will be Nairobi. Then from Nairobi, we are going to Garissa. All right? So thank you very much. Keep it locked here at Red Ring Media. Keep it locked at Political Headache. Until another episode. Bye for now.